So as of this moment, the lecture is recorded. So welcome everybody. My name is Bert de Vries. I'm going to be the main instructor for this class. This class is called Bayesian Machine Learning and Information Processing. And I hope that you're going to enjoy this class. The class is going to be entirely online, of course. And I hope that we have made, as you will see, because we're going to discuss today the tools that I make available for you to study this class. And I hope there's enough tools to make it actually an enjoyable experience. So one thing I'd like to start with is to introduce you to the other instructors. Next to me, there is another instructor, Wouter Kuil, and he will teach the programming lessons, and then we have two teaching assistants. I'm not sure how this Canvas system really works, but I'm just asking Wouter, is it possible for you to say something or even show your face, or should I?
Yep, let me turn on my webcam. Hi, I'm Wouter, yeah, so as Bert said, I'll be doing the probabilistic programming sessions. There'll be 4 of those. They're interleaved with Bert's lectures. Bert will do all the theory, and then we'll go into implementing some of the stuff that Bert talks about.
Yep, that's it. And then there are 2 teaching assistants that will also help you in with all your questions that you have. So I'd like to introduce Ismail first. Ismail, can you show your face and introduce yourself?
I'm trying to. Hold on. It'll be fine. Hi everyone. I'm Ismail. Yeah, I'm one of the teaching assistants. And, what else should I say?
Well,
okay. If you have questions, I think it's either me or Moose probably answer you along with those. Yeah. If you have any problems with downloading, any problems regarding Julia or that side of things about the course, then yeah, we will be the people to come to.
Okay, super. Thanks, Ismail. Magnus is another teaching assistant. Maybe you can introduce yourself, Magnus.
Yeah, it seems like my camera is acting up for some reason. But yeah, apart from the camera, hi everybody. I'm Magnus. I am a recovering neuroscientist, PhD student in Bert's group. And just like Ismail, I will be happy to help you with any sort of issues you run into during the course. Cool stuff. Yeah, and have a blast.
Okay, super. Thanks, Magnus. So that is the teaching staff. So myself, Wouter, Ismail, and Magnus, and you can approach either one of us. As we will discuss today, we're going to use a tool basically to address any questions. We're going to use Piazza, but I will talk about that later. Let me see if I can share my screen. I'm going to the home page for the class. No. Share the screen again. Ooh, let's see. Probably this one. It says there are no resources for this. My God.
That's strange because you are the presenter at the moment.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so then I'm going to see if I can share my entire screen. No, that it doesn't.
The no resources error is the same one that I'm getting for my webcam. So maybe if we can try and turn some people off, it could work.
You mean if I undo my webcam?
Maybe. I don't know if it'll work.
Okay, so let's try that. Yeah, fantastic.
Oh, wow.
Thank you, Magnus. Already saved the day.
We, to all students, we have about twice as many students this year as last year. So we're apparently hitting some bandwidth limits that we, of course, can't test with 4 people.
This is what I look like when I actually have a webcam working. Hi, people.
Okay, thanks, Magnus. So everybody, so this is basically the homepage for the class. You can easily get there by there is an alias BMLIP, BIMLib, Bayesian Machine Learning and Information Processing .nl, and then you should get to this homepage. Or you can of course type in what you see here in the for a URL. And I'm going to go through this homepage. This homepage is mostly used to collect all the materials. We're going to talk about Piazza in a minute. I've introduced you to the instructors. So let's talk about the materials. There are a few books. These are optional. And you can the main machine learning book is Pattern Recognition and Machine Learning by Christopher Bishop. You can buy a hard copy. You can also download it from his site. I think if you press this link here, Pattern Recognition and Machine Learning, you will go to Chris Bishop's site and you can download the book, a PDF. This is the second resource, Ariel Petitia, Anthropic Inference in the Foundations of Physics. I'm just interested in one chapter, the chapter on probability theory. It's a really interesting monograph, about 300 pages, but I'm going to ask you to read about maybe 10, 15 pages of it. But it's still, you can just download it from this link. Then for all the lectures are going to be online, and you can actually, as you will see later here, you can just click and read them. We also made a PDF bundle. Now note that this is still the PDF bundle for last time when we taught it, which was actually about half a year ago in Q3. And but since the lectures are basically done, I think in the next 2 weeks we should be able to produce a fresh PDF bundle for all the lecture notes, and that's going to be your main resource. So this is not optional, but perhaps you should wait in downloading it now and wait for the refresh. And then we're going to be doing some programming. We're going to use Julia programming language. Julia is open source. It's a bit like MATLAB, so it's at least programs like MATLAB. That is sort of the goal of it. But it is as fast as C. That's the main idea. If you know MATLAB or you know Python, it shouldn't be hard to program in MATLAB. I'm not going to ask you to become an expert in Julia, but I think it's a really good programming language to know if you're interested in machine learning. It's a really growing language. So, and here are an install guide. You can also go to the internet if this doesn't work for you. Then the main resource for materials is really just this table. Let me just first go through what we're going to do this quartile. Today, right, we B0, B stands for Bert 0th lecture, Bert first lecture, Bert second lecture, here W1, Wouter first lecture, and so forth. We're going now today through the core syllabus, administrative issue. I'm going to later click on B0, which are the lecture notes connected to this topic, right? Lecture notes B1 are the lecture notes connected to machine learning overview, and lecture notes B7 are basically the lecture notes connected to the regression. So the first 3 meetings, we're going to be talking about everything that leads up to what Bayesian machine learning is. Bayesian machine learning is means learning with probability theory. Of course, we're going to be talking about why we want to use probability theory. And then on the 18th, we're going to be talking about what Bayesian machine learning is. And we followed that with an instruction on how to do some programming with Bayesian machine learning. Then we're going to have 3 lectures where we make that a bit more explicit, but still really simple models. The Gaussian distribution, multinomial distribution, you've probably heard of those distributions. We're going to be talking about vector graphs, and once we are there, we will, of course, explain what that is. But these are basically simple lectures, and I think up to this point, there's not going to be a whole lot of very deep stuff. This is, again, followed by a programming lecture. We're going to be trying to solve in Julia some Bayesian machine learning problems connected to the Gaussian distribution, to some product algorithm, and so forth. Then we're going to do 3 lectures on regression and classification. Now, regression and classification are the workhorses of machine learning. I would say 80–90% of what goes on in machine learning is focused on either a regression or classification tasks. These 2 tasks are both in the domain of what's called supervised learning, and this is what most deep learning is all about. We're not going to be talking about deep learning because there's a lot of other classes at this university. We're going to be talking about how to do this in a Bayesian framework. And again, that's followed by programming practice. And then these 3 lectures on latent variable models, dynamic models, and intelligent agents. Those are the advanced lectures, right? Up to, I would say, up to B10, everything is still rather basic. I mean, it's not very deep. Here it becomes more advanced. Here we do more stuff where, let's say, current research is also ongoing. Latent variable models, variational Bayes. I'm going to be talking later about what that is. Dynamic models, that's going to be very important for signal processing, of course, and for video processing. And what's really we're really going up to is intelligent agents, agents that try to make smart decisions and make actions, right? For instance, an agent that needs to drive a car, right? Needs to take decisions and actions. So we're going to be talking about that. The way we're going to be talking about that, so Magnus says my screen is narrow. How about this? Is this better? Yes, okay, super. So the way we're going to be talking about that is it's going to be a bit neuroscience inspired. And so then the last lecture is sort of a bonus lecture. And Magnus, he's a neuroscientist, so he will talk about really extending that into what is life, and particularly the connection between machine learning, what we have learned, and how learning goes on in real brains. And this is a bonus lecture in the sense that it's not going to be on the exam, it's just for fun. But I think it's nice to make that link that when we go through this class, we're going to ultimately end up with intelligent agents. And then, okay, what are the real intelligent agents in nature, right? And Magnus is going to be talking about that. That's the class. That's sort of the topics of the class. For each class, there are lecture notes, and you can just click here on the corresponding number and get to the lecture notes, right? Let's say regression B7. So if I click on B7, there you go, right? So there's here, and you can just scroll, and here are the lecture notes for regression. And this is, you can do this for, I'm going to go back now. You can do this for all the lecture notes. For each of the lecture notes, there's also a video guide. I have recorded basically the lecture, me talking through the lecture, and I've put that all on YouTube already. So if I would click on B1, let me try to do that. Basically, you'll see here I am on YouTube, right? And so you could do this for all these lectures. My recommendation is to, when you study a class, let's say probability theory, first do the video guides, and then the lecture notes. That's why I put them also in this sequence. So video guides left before lecture notes. The idea of the video guide is to go through the sticky points in the lecture notes, at least what I expect to be sticky points. So what I'm not going to do is spend 2 hours going through every bullet in the lecture notes. If I think you can just read it without me and it's conceptually easy, then I won't discuss it in the video guide. I want to keep the video guide relatively small, 10 to 20 minutes, and just focus on what I think may be sticky points. Therefore, I recommend that you go through the video guide first, then do the lecture notes. And that means also, and we'll be discussing Piazza later, that I'm not going in these live sessions, I'm not going to go through the lecture notes again. I'm not going to talk you through the lecture notes. I expect you to actually do this before these live sessions. And then in class, we can discuss your questions. So, of course, there's exercises here, and you can also access them from this site. There is going to be a written exam, but I have more to say about that in the course syllabus, which I have put in lecture notes B0. I'm going to click on that now. But let me first ask if there's any question about this site, about this table, how to access the materials. You can just, if you want, you can either put it in the chat or you can just unmute yourself and speak up. Okay, I don't hear something, so it should be easy, right? I mean, this is just the homepage, and you find everything in this table. I'm going to B0. This is the course syllabus, and I'm going to talk today through this course syllabus. It's let's say it's an extended version of what I just told you. Okay, I see there's a question. I see that for some topics there's not a video guide and no lecture notes. Yeah, ultimately for all classes, for all lessons, there will be lecture notes and video guides. The only, as Wouter says, the only lectures for which there's no lecture notes at this moment available and no video guide are the programming class and the bonus class. And that's because we are still discussing whether we should do that live or whether we should also put it on just on the, let's say, in the table beforehand. So, but within a week we'll make that decision.
If I may add to that, so the lecture notes are available. Update the website after this or tomorrow. Yes. So last week we figured out that there were so many. So many people that are taking this course that I originally wanted to do this live, but I think I will also pre-record it, and then the link will appear on the website as well.
Yes, so that means that you will get in the table links to everything, links to all lecture notes, even for the probabilistic programming classes. And everything that the video guides, but also the current session, this live session, once it's I can download it from Canvas, I will also put it on YouTube, and I will make it available to everybody. So even this class you can watch afterwards. B6 is a private video as it looks now. Will that mean it's not yet ready? No, it's not. Okay, I need to thank you, Wim. I need to fix that. It's not meant to be a private video. It's supposed to be a public video. So I will fix that. There are no private videos in this class. Thank you. Okay, so if there are no other questions, I'll just go through the syllabus with you together, and you can interrupt whenever you want if anything is not clear. So as I discussed, what is the role of the exercises? It's to prepare for the exam. Yeah, the exam will be written. Is there a set per week? Yes. Okay. Well, let me go through the exercises. So here are the exercises. It's just a click, right? You can click and get the exercises. So what you'll see is exercises, some general exercises, and then rehearsal exercises for each lesson. So for probability theory review, which is upcoming Friday, here are some exercises. There is also a notebook with solutions. Here's for the Bayesian machine learning lesson. Here's for the continuous data and the Gaussian distribution. So for each class, there is a set of exercises. And if I would go to the home page, and the home page is here, right? You can go to again to these exercises, but you can also go to the exercises with solutions. So here you'll see, let's say, for probability theory, right? Here are the basically the answers. And they are just for your preparation to help you prepare for the exam. Do you mean to share your screen? I'm still seeing the course summary page. Yeah, in my Canvas, it appears, or it seems that I am actually was sharing the exercises, and that I'm now going back to the syllabus again. Okay, I see enough confirmation of that. So again, there's a home page, and the home page you use mostly to access the materials. These are the instructors. If you click, you can send us emails. There's emails there. Basically, we will use 3 web pages in this class. There is the course homepage, which I just went through, right? It contains links to all materials. Lecture notes and video guides is the most important thing. The Canvas course site, which is, we use that just to host the live class meetings, right? And you have to navigate through the conferences tab. Now in Canvas, when I make available a button for you to click on, then if I make that button, so if I open that, let's say, that conference, then it will send an email to you. Unfortunately, it will not schedule something in your calendar. So I'm just going to make that available to, 15 minutes before class starts, right? I don't want to send you an email like 3 days before a class and then it just disappears in your emails. So about 15 minutes before class starts, you'll probably get an email, but if not, then at least if you go to the Canvas course site and you go to the conferences tab, you should be able to see the link from which you can access basically the live sessions. So those are two pages. The third one is Piazza. And Piazza is what we're going to be using for QA and communication. And let me go to Piazza. So if I press Piazza, you'll see. I hope you will see this now. So this is an it's a Q&A tool. It's a free tool. At least it's still free. And I want to use it for basically all our discussions. As you have seen, I have made here the top folders, B0-1 machine learning, B0-2 probability theory, B0-3 Bayesian machine learning, and so forth. Here's news, and here's the exam. Those are folders. And what you can do is you can just, whenever you have a problem with any of the materials, just make a new post. So I click here on a new post, and let's say I have some news. You have to select a folder. You have to say whether it's to an individual student or instructor. If, let's say, if I do this, I can choose Ismail or anybody, right? Or I can send it to the entire class. So if it's something that is not a personal matter, I prefer you just do it to the entire class, right? And so you select a folder, which basically means you select the top, the lecture, and then you put your question. And you can use LaTeX, right? You can use, say, alpha sub X, right? I can preview this. Well, there it is, alpha sub X, right? So it renders nicely. So here you would put your question. If we post that, let's post that in news, right? I do this now to the entire class. And this is just a test post. Make this an announcement, send emails immediately. You can, let's see. Okay, so here's, and now I would like you, the students, to start discussing this together. And the way Piazza is structured, that for each question, students can collaborate on an answer, and then the instructors can endorse that answer, or they can, let's say, make their own answer below. So you won't see this long list of everybody's answers, but rather you'll see basically an answer where you can collaborate. I would like you to do that. I think it's a great way for basically collaboration in the class. And I think that's nice because we are online. So this is a way to have discussions together and basically a discussion between the students and the instructors. I have never worked with Piazza, to be honest. So we'll see how it goes. But I've seen really positive reviews from both professors and from students. They really like it. And so I would really like us to start using this and yeah, and see how far we can get with this. So I'm going to go back here to the syllabus. So, and those are the 3 sites. And that means that effectively, you will use the home page. You go through the video lecture, video guide, you watch or you read the lecture, and then basically that's it, right? If you understand everything, yeah, then you're kind of done. I would, before the exam, I would make some exercises, or once you've studied the lecture, make some exercises. And then as an extra resource, we have Piazza. And Piazza is, if you have any questions that relate to the class, please post them in Piazza. Don't send me an email, right? Because then we have 120 students, and if 50 of you have the same question, I want to answer it once. I don't want to answer it 50 times. And indeed, I see. Do we have to make our own account? No, I think if you just we'll go through it, but If you press this link here on Piazza, you will get a sign-up page. So that's basically the structure of the course. There's online video guides, there's online lecture notes, there's online exercises, and we have a discussion forum. These live sessions, yeah, I just I think we'll have these live sessions, but sometimes they may, from my viewpoint, be just 10 minutes. It's just to check up on you. Are things going well? Is there something that we need to talk about because it's hard to do in Piazza? So we'll just check in on Wednesdays and on Fridays, but really all the materials should be online. Okay? So my hope is that you just keep up with the course schedule as it's displayed in this table on the home page, right? So today, we have a scheduled lecture, machine learning overview. It's a really simple lecture. So I suggest after our meeting today, you just go through the video guide and the lecture notes. And then if you want to discuss in Piazza, that would be fantastic. And on Friday, we have probability theory. That's a more difficult lecture, but I'd like you to try to go through it. Go through the video and go through the lecture notes before Friday. And then we'll have a live session on Friday and we'll discuss some of your problems. But hopefully you'll actually have already put your problems on Piazza, and then we can go through, let's say on Friday, we'll go through Piazza and see what kind of problems we see there. I prefer to actually answer problems and issues in Piazza, also in Piazza, rather than just verbally here, because then it's on paper or it's online and you can revisit it 2 months from now. And if I just say it here and you happen to miss that video lecture, yeah, then it's gone, right? So I prefer to put it all on paper, or at least put it all online, and so you can study it for yourself. Materials, I think we've gone through the materials, right? Technically, the lecture notes are the most important thing, and all the other materials support the lecture notes. The video guides, the Q&A on Piazza, the exercises are just in support of the lecture notes. You can study this entire course from your phone, right? If you make a homepage for this on your phone, and that homepage contains the links to the online lecture notes. They render really well on my phone. I have a Samsung, whatever, it's an Android phone. It renders really well. The video guides are on YouTube, so just get the YouTube. That renders well if you have the YouTube app. And Piazza has an app, so there is a Piazza app. So you can put this entire class on your phone and study it, yeah, laying in bed, just watching your phone. All right. Just looking through if there's anything I haven't talked about. Like I said, the lecture notes contain the mandatory materials. Some lectures have a header like this in the bottom, optional slides, and then there is more slides below that. Well, that means that anything below this header is going to be optional, right? Above this is not optional, but below this is optional. Like I said, I suggest you watch the video guide first, then study the lecture notes. Piazza. So if you're not, so you should sign up for the class. Just press this button, and it will probably ask you to sign up. Yeah, let's start working with it. I mean, I haven't worked with it either, so probably in the beginning we'll make both make errors and we don't use it right. But I think we'll get the hang of it, and I hope it's going to be really useful, right? Just ask questions in Piazza. If they're for the instructors, then you just click for the instructor. One thing that's nice about Piazza is if you really want to, you can contribute anonymously. So that's also a nice feature. You don't have to, but if you want to. So that also means since I want to do as much as possible all communication through Piazza, news and announcement, I will also just communicate through Piazza. I think once you've signed up, you should actually get an email once I make an announcement. You saw when I was in Piazza just like 5 minutes ago, I can press a button that says send an email to everybody. I'll do that, of course, when there's news. So unless it's a personal issue, please post your course-related questions at Piazza. Piazza has a great search feature. So before you post your question, how about if you search if there's already a question like it, and so maybe you already can find the answer, right? So we don't have a lot of the same questions on it. Live sessions like this, we'll have them every Wednesday and Friday. But aside from today, I expect to not do a lot in these live sections. I expect them to be short. And let's hope so, because I've been sorry, it seems like I was muted all of a sudden. Exam guide. There's a written exam, most likely in multiple choice format. And I would hope that we can administer the exam in a hybrid form. It's currently registered as a hybrid exam, which means there are two options. It's going to be, you're going to take it at home, and then you need, okay, there's going to be proctoring software. There's going to be a plugin in your Chrome browser that will basically monitor you doing your work. If you don't want that, then you can go to campus and just do it there. And then there are human proctors, just people walking around. And that's a nice option. It's going to be up to you. Unless this COVID thing will prohibit us from doing that, right? And then really there is no choice. We'll just have to do it online with proctoring software, even though that may feel very unfair, but there's just no other way. So the tested materials is the lecture notes. Some of the lecture notes have reading assignments. And then all the supplementary material to help you understand the reading notes, right? So the video guides, the discussion forum, that's just to help you. And now my last point, I really would like, if possible, I would want us to work on Piazza and have discussions. So in principle, the written exam determines 100% of your grade. But if your final score is between a 5.0 and a 5.4, and you know that rounds to a 5, then I will look at your contribution statistics at Piazza. If I go to Piazza, let's say if I can do that, yes, I can look at statistics here, few statistics, and I can see top student contributors. I can see who has been doing what, right? And it's really then, if I feel like, oh, well, this student, I mean, he got a 5.3, but he's really been a good contributor, and okay, I'm going to round that up, right? So then I may use your contribution statistic at Piazza to upgrade your score to 5.5, and that would round to a 6, right? So this is just a bonus. I will not do that when you have, let's say, a 6.3. A 6.3 just rounds to a 6. A 5.3, I will look at Piazza, and it may give you then the extra 0.2. There's no hard criteria for that. It's really up to me. It's bonus points. We may also do this, but we haven't decided, may also do this for the exercises for probabilistic programming. And then, we'll give you a notice of that, right? So the ideas for this is just to sort of encourage you to take an active role in this class, right? To do the exercises or the programming exercises, and to help other students with questions or giving them answers. And you can, so normally if you get if you pass the class, no problem. But if you are like sort of borderline, then I want to use your, let's say, how much effort you put in the class, and we measure that by by your contributions on Piazza. I want to take that into account and give you maybe some bonus. That's what I wanted to say today. I have time for questions. You can either put it in the chat, or you can just open your microphone and start talking. Yeah, so there'll be probabilistic programming assignments, and they're not mandatory. The written exam, in principle, is 100% of the score. But, and this is under discussion, but I think, and we'll give you an answer within a week. If we may also extend this idea of these bonus points to the assignments of probabilistic programming, just to encourage you to do it. So then, for instance, we could say, okay, if you have anything between 4.5 and 5.4, we're going to look at your, let's say, your programming assignments, what you handed in, and your contributions at Piazza, and then, you know, possibly round that up to a 5.5. That's sort of the, yeah?
Yeah, if I might add to that, the so the probabilistic programming assignments, we will be working with Julia as a programming language and Jupyter as an interactive notebook working environment. As Bert already mentioned, Julia is quite similar to MATLAB and Python, and we will not use the advanced Julia stuff, but it still represents a bit of a threshold to work in a new programming language and to work in this Jupyter working environment. So the probabilistic programming assignments will mostly, they will not be mandatory, they will mostly be to test whether you've understood what happens in the probabilistic programming sessions. But these assignments will be released after the lecture notes, and you can do the assignments, you can submit them, I will auto-grade them, and when you submit, which is not mandatory, then I can also see that you are doing them, and that means that we can see who is an active contributor to the course and who isn't. So in that sense, we can add this to the bonus points, as Bert mentioned. Whether programming part will be part of the exam is not yet clear, because the exam will still need to be made. Is that correct, Bert?
Yeah. Yep. But it's, I mean, whether we will, let's say, whether we will use your, let's say, your programming assignments also as, let's say, as a bonus if you score just under a 5.5. That's something I still have to discuss with Wouter in detail, but we'll get to that within a week or 2 weeks, so pretty early. That's it. So the reasons why, let me tell you, the reasons why I would like to do the class like this, so have very light live sessions like this one. This is hopefully the longest session we have. Is if we have 120 people in this class. So if I would teach this live and I allow you to make comments or ask questions, then there is a risk that they'll never get through the class. If there's just 1 or 2 people that have questions, well, then I might as well just pre-record it. So that's why I decided I'm just going to pre-record it. It gives you an opportunity to study the class whenever is a good time for you. And I want to keep really content as much as possible outside these live classes. The reason, and as much as possible in, let's say, discussions in Piazza, the reason is that if you go to the prepare for the exam, I don't want you to need to go through the video guide and the lecture notes and Piazza and again the live sessions, right? So as much as possible, let's keep the live sessions just for okay, we keep in touch here. How are things going? If things are important in a technical sense about the class, then let's do it in a discussion in Piazza. So you will not have to really study the live class for your exam. I'm just doing that, just let's say making this suggestion to you to not bombard me with a lot of technical questions in the live session. Bombard me with technical questions in Piazza, totally fine. I'll be happy to answer there. Also be happy to answer it in the live session, but then we'll still translate that to Piazza as well, because I want you to well, to have like manageable workload when you do your exam. Are we okay? Just shout something out in the chat if something is not clear, or open your microphone. Cool. Most students cannot talk if they only join by audio. Yeah, that's true. But then they can hopefully say something in the chat. And if something is not clear, I mean, after this class, then open up a question in Piazza. I'll be happy to talk about that. And if not, then we'll see each other again on Friday, and we can talk again, of course. So my suggestion is, I know this is a bit of hard workload before Friday, so it doesn't. I'm not going to test you on it. I'm not. We don't have a pop quiz or anything, but if you can, try to keep up. Let's say, try to read the scheduled lecture or before we do the lecture. I think then the live session is most useful, right? And we may have already had some discussion in Piazza on the lecture. So then in the live session, we can just focus on the 1-2 points that, well, that are still not clear, right? Yeah. Then I think we should just finish today. And I'm looking forward to seeing you all on Friday. I'll put up a link in conference about 15 minutes before the class. All right. See you all. Bye-bye.